Orbiter. And the third part is about the Avail Fusion. It's a risk-taking product. You can have the multiple sites, include Bitcoin and Ethereum, and also the Avail token. It's just like the Avail. Yeah, that's all of my introduction.
Yeah. Okay. My name is Lucas. So I'm from Cobo. So now I'm working with leading the sales team and also the solution team in Cobo. So basically for Cobo, this is a company with 7 years in custody and wallet technology. So basically we are an institutional wallet service provider, doing all the way from custodial wallets, MPC, non-custodial, smart contract, blah, blah. And specifically working with Bitcoin ecosystem this year. So we have been supporting layer 2 projects like the Zulu and also LST projects or projects like Babylon to have their institutional participants to help the project to build the infra and also to help them to attract more institutional investors to join the project to contribute on the TVL on the liquidity side. So yeah, this is pretty much what we do. Thanks.
Okay, my turn. I'm Charlie and I'm the marketing lead at OKX Explorer, and I'm a marketing person. I'm probably the only marketing person, non-tech person at this panel. So yeah, excuse me, I'm sorry. Okay, a little bit about OKX Explorer. I think a lot of you guys don't know that OKX has an Explorer because it's been around for about 10 years, and it was established under the name OKLink. That's why. And we decided that it was about the right time to bring that back into the OKX Web3 product lineup. So right now, OKX Web3 has Wallet, NFT, DEX, Marketplace, and Explorer. I like to think it's a one-stop shop. So whenever a user has a need, we have a touch point. And specifically about us, we're a multi-chain block explorer. Right now, we cover about 50 plus public chains, including BTC Layer 1 and Layer 2s, EVM Layer 1, Layer 2s, and some heterogeneous chains like Solana, Ton, and Tron, etc. And we are really, I would like to think the difference that we make is we try to make things more beginner-friendly because I know there are a lot of alternative products out there, but for beginners who want to come into the space, the first thing they want to do is, first thing they care about is security. And to make sure your assets are secure, you have to look on on-chain data. And if you can't understand that, then that already creates a very, very intimidating barrier for them. So that's why we're trying to make things easier, more friendly, more beginner-friendly. We also offer a lot of developer tools and APIs for them to bring their ideas live. And we recently launched this Explorer as a Service solution. So offering public chains, it's really an infrastructure for public chains to grow their ecosystem. And the best thing is, it's free at first. I mean, it's zero cost, zero code, zero ongoing maintenance investment.
I'm Keer, I'm Chief Storytelling Officer of Orbiter Finance. Orbiter Finance is basically the first secure bridge on Ethereum rollouts. Now it's the bridging protocol with the largest market share. About 50% of the all cross-chain transaction happens on Orbiter Finance. We are also one of the first bridge that support the Bitcoin Layer 2 as well. So we love to tell about the Bitcoin and Orbiter furthermore. Shall we?
Thank you, everyone. And for the first question, what opportunities do you see in blockchain infrastructure to increase Bitcoin adoption and growth?
Yeah, the mass adoption is always a topic in the Web3, we all know that. And I think in this crypto cycle, the Bitcoin ecosystem is one of the main narratives. We all know that, right? So I think for the Bitcoin, since last year, they have the Bitcoin inscription, Chinese guy called it Mingwen. And since that, everything changed for the Bitcoin ecosystem because Bitcoin is not only for the payment for the value carrier, but also can issue a token. That's very important. And since that, I think the ecosystem is got a new start. So we can see that now there are a lot of Bitcoin layer 2s. There are a lot of app based on the Bitcoin ecosystem. So we can see, I think, a lot of opportunity here. And I think besides this, talk about Avail and the more rollouts and more layer 2s, I think there can be, you can see the more value of Avail DA and Avail Nexus can do. I think it's also an opportunity for us. And I can also see that the Bitcoin has the most consensus of the Web3. We all know that Bitcoin is the #1 token. Bitcoin is the #1 concept, right? So I think based on this, the build around the Bitcoin ecosystem can find a lot of chance to mass adoption. Not only on the DeFi, but also payment and social. I'm very optimistic about that.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like infrastructure, we are talking about like multiple tiers, right? We have infra constructions or infra opportunities in layer 1. Then you have the one in the middle, the layers, the DA layers, roll up all these technologies, and then you have the layer 2 narratives, right? So for Cobo, we are pretty much focused on how do you secure your layer 1 assets. So in that sense, people are talking about initially from simply deposit to my protocol, deposit to my wallet, and then mint my token to you. Slowly, there's more solutions coming up. There are Taproot script, Tamlock. There are MPC solution to secure your fund by multi-party. There are also non-custodial solutions going on. So for that part, I think if you look at people from different perspectives, for example, like retail users, they probably be abstract. They will be interested with more like the marketing approach and also the web approach, how you craft it out. And if you look at institutional investor perspective, they're probably looking at more reliable partner to work with, such as Cobo. And of course, I think eventually, there is competition in this layer 1 layer. Who can better leverage on Bitcoin script capability? Who can mostly enhance the security of this layer? That will be the most opportunity down the line for the next 1 or 2 years. But I think as for this year, people are pretty much focused on. I think this is very baby stage for the technology build. So we have like people like Zulu who are continuing building in this layer. And Cobo, what we are working on is we are starting from something very straightforward, right? Multi-party multi-party computing technology to secure the fund, and all the way we are working down the line to the Bitcoin script to make sure the scalability of the entire ecosystem in the future. Yeah.
Okay, I think in my opinion, my observation is I only represent my personal view. I think this Bitcoin, there were 2 major hurdles to Bitcoin adoption. I think one lies in still there's a lack of practical use cases, especially for retail market. And the second one is just this user understanding and trust gap among potential users, especially Web2 audience. It might be a bit different to what the other speakers think. I think right now about 60 to 70% of this 1.2 trillion BTC 1.2 trillion asset base still is dormant. And why are they not activated? Is it because the lack of practical use case? And even though we're seeing these emerging BTC-Fi solutions, but is it because that they still lack a little bit of security and privacy in order to activate these assets? I'm not too sure, but this is my thinking. If that's the case, then infra providers can work together to provide more secure infrastructure solutions and to enhance this. Like Cobo's definitely do this. And then another point is, I think developer community is pivotal to making Bitcoin more accessible and user friendly. And I was just talking to Eric before this panel. Back then, I think it was in 2014, there was a debate about OP return, and that debate turned a lot of developers away from BTC ecosystem, and most of them went into Ethereum. And look at what's happening in Ethereum now. And also, this is to do with the UTXO structure, the scripting limitation of Bitcoin as well. It just limits the possibility of putting a lot of smart contracts into the ecosystem, creating more use cases. But now I think with the innovative solutions like Rune's Ordinals BRC20 coming out, and especially this EVM compatible BTC layer 2s, I'm really excited to see what can be built there. Can developers be creative yet be practical and create things that really address real world problems? If they can, then I think we will see some kind of adoption. And the next point I think everybody has heard about before is just things are so difficult to use for, especially for Web2 non-natives, and a lot of people in the space, like deeply rooted in the space, they don't really consider the needs from these people. I don't know, they would enjoy to have this barrier up, this wall up, thinking that, oh, this is a prestigious space, only we understand kind of culture. I think if we can break that, if we can just make things easier, why include so many technical jargons? Why can't we create two versions? One is simpler version to accommodate those newcomers, beginners. One is a bit more in-depth, advanced versions for you guys, the OGs. I think that's simple to do. It's a common problem shared among spaces, not just BTC. But I do agree with what I just said, of course.
I think apart from the guys mentioned before is about the OPCAT and the meme coin, also the BitVM sort of things. That's the main infrastructure development of Bitcoin right now. But what I would also love to point out is that people are not really paying attention to the potential of Bitcoin become a payment system. What I would love to say is if you know the Lightning Bolt 12 recently update. So what Bolt 12 update allows is that if you send Bitcoin to one another, before the upgrade of Bolt 12, you will need to wait if another users had conducted malicious behavior, and that would take 1,000 blocks, and that would take more than 2 months. And it's not very user-friendly to use the Lightning Network to pay the Bitcoin to like a coffee shop. But what Bolt 12 allows is that after the such upgrade, first of all, it kind of likes the layer 2 batch submitting to L1. Basically, the gas fee paid with the Lightning Network of Bitcoin will decrease to somehow very close to what you would conduct a transaction on base network. The gas fee is very likely to be less than 1 cent. And also, if you are trying to send Bitcoin to someone that you don't know, someone online, not a coffee shop, so you can build this Lightning Network with better exit period of time. But also you can somehow make the payment as a receipt, so that basically if you send 100 worth of US dollar of Bitcoin to someone, and then they send back 60, and then you send back 40. Right now, the infrastructure of Lightning Network, you will still need to pay gas fee. In the future, basically you can pay within that Lightning Network channel with the receipt without further expense. So that would bring so much to the mass adoption of Bitcoin. I think that's one of the most valuable things that people are not really paying attention to. But I agree with OPCAT and BitVM will be also the ERC20 and the DeFi Summer enablers of infrastructure.
Thank you for that. And for this next section, it's going to be one question for each of the projects. So I'd like to ask you guys, try to keep your answers a little concise within about a minute, just to make sure that everyone has a chance to get to their question. So the first one is for Avail. I'd like to know a little bit about how you approach bringing scalability and efficiency to Bitcoin without compromising its decentralized security model.
Okay, thanks. I think the Bitcoin Layer 2 are the core infrastructure of the Bitcoin mass adoption. Yeah, we can 100% make sure that. And for Avail, I think the purpose of Avail is to solve the problems of the like the cooperation between different lines and the data availability. So I think the most important benefits for the partners who use Avail is to lower the cost of DA. And I think the second is that the better user experience for the cross-chain, which was brought by the Avail Nexus. I think these two are the most important for the Bitcoin users, because not only for the Layer 2, but also some app chain built on the Bitcoin Layer 2, also some Layer 3, they can also use the Avail service. So I think based on this, in overall, I can see that if you use Avail service, and you can just have better DA service in the lower cost, and also you can amplify the cooperation between different chains and different app chains, and then you can have better network effect. That's all.
Thank you, Maria. And the next question is for Cobo. So given your experience in custodial solutions, what do you see as the innovations that are going to be most crucial for driving institutional adoption?
Yeah, so for that part, I don't call that a tactical innovation. It's more like I would say from a business collaboration perspective, there is some innovation collaborations that Cobo can work with. So basically, just now we mentioned about the dormant BTC, right? So because lack of the yield method for native Bitcoin, all those like whales or holders, initially they're looking for a secure way to generate better yield for their Bitcoins, right? So as they are so powerful, they are having so much BTC on their hand, their approach can be very conservative compared to other investors. So what they do is that they still want to own the control of the Bitcoin while they are bridging, right? Then the controversial is that from project perspective, they say, hey, already bridge your asset and made your asset for you. How this is possible, right? So it's always through a co-managed custody perspective, whereby the project and the project Cobo, the whales can join together to arrange some key share management arrangement. It can be only whale and Cobo involvement, or it can be project involvement. It depends on the specific scenario that you're having. But eventually, from whale perspective, they feel safe. They feel everything is under control. That is something satisfy their fundamental needs. And by the time they can collaborate with a project, to invest, stake, or even restake their assets, so that they are willing to participate in certain Bitcoin Layer 2 projects. Yeah.
Thank you, Lucas. And the next question is for OKX Explorer. So, given your experience integrating many other networks, including Bitcoin Layer 2s and specifically Zulu Network, can you tell us a little bit about how you are improving the accessibility and usability of blockchain data for end users and developers? And are there any examples you can share of how this has led to more transparency and better decision making?
Sure. Thanks for keeping tabs on our recent development. So in the recent months, we have increased our chain coverage from roughly 40 to 50 plus. And this is by using the Explorer as a service solution. And like I said earlier, it's free, zero cost, zero code, zero maintenance cost. And all public chains will need to do is to give us open source their nodes, give us some basic information like chain ID, WebSocket, RPC URLs, and we build the nodes for them, we maintain for them. And right now, our BTC ecosystem covers here Layer 1, Layer 2, including Fractal Bitcoin, BitLayer, B2, Bob, and soon to be launched Zulu. So with this, I think the benefit of chains is that they can really focus on building their ecosystem instead of sparing time and energy on Explorer, which really shouldn't be their priority. Previous to this model, we have been building Explorers for UTXO and EVM chains. So with the experience under our belt, we were able to shift from a manual building model to a template kind of approach, which drastically reduced the time that we can support a new chain. And right now, it takes us about a week, depending on the data quality of the chain and the rollup quality. But normally, it takes us about a week to support each new chain, which is very efficient. And for developers, we also provide them with a lot of APIs and tools so that they can create anything they can think of. For example, a lot of well-known applications use our APIs, including CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, Unisat, and a lot of on-chain security platforms, investment data analytics platforms. I think it's just enabling developers, giving them access to the right tools, and it's up to them where they want to take their ideas and innovation. That's all from me.
Great, thank you for sharing, Charlie. And the final question for Orbiter, of course, is as we see cross-chain interoperability become more and more prevalent, what role do you see Bitcoin playing in the cross-chain future?
Basically, like what Orbiter has achieved from the last 3 years, it was growing from pretty much a grassrooted team, and then to now pretty much number one transaction cross-chain bridge. But we have supported over 40 bridges that include Bitcoin layer 2s. So basically, people conceive Orbiter as a cross-chain bridge protocol. But right now, basically, what Orbiter is trying to do is we have this maker system, which is a cross-chain liquidity provider on different chains, including Zulu, Bob, Ethereum, layer 2 rollups. What we do see is the fact that because, for example, Ethereum rollups have this smart contract on layer 1 and they're separate. So if you sort of deposit to Ethereum to Base, the money can also be used on Base and locked in the L1 smart contract. And that brought us a liquidity fragmentation, which does two really disadvantage things. One is the LP liquidity is not really capital efficient. That would say, for example, if I lend Bitcoin on WBTC on Base, and because if the coin drops, token price drop, I have this liquidation risk. I cannot move fund at the first time to avoid that. And also this cross-chain and this multiple wallet on different chain, it's really not good for user experience. So we saw that problem starting from liquidity fragmentation. So we decided to build a liquidity aggregation layer called Advising. So essentially, it is a kind of like a layer 2, but it sort of makes the layer 2s coordinate between each other. Coordinate means that in the future, users can only need one account to interact with multiple blockchains, including layer 1 and layer 2s. They don't need to know any knowledge about the blockchains. What they only need to do is to have their private key stored in a secure place and then earn yield by clicking one button. And basically, I think that's what I think that's for this cycle. We would like to see such product and infrastructure built, and Orbiter is building part of it by providing this ticket aggregation layer and also liquidity aggregation layer.
Thanks for sharing, Keer, and thanks all of the panelists here for your insights into Bitcoin infrastructure and the future trends in that industry. Up next, I think we have the video. Is that correct?
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
And then the next panel.
Okay, thank you so much.